here, let's break down what's happened over the last couple of weeks. First and foremost, I didn't get a haircut. I was supposed to get a haircut before I was gonna go on vacation. I planned it. That's why I wasn't here on Friday before I left, because I'm just like, my hair getting a little long, gonna be meeting people, haven't seen in a really long time, or for the first time, need to get that fresh HC, as the kids are saying, and by kids, I mean my friend group. And so, I was ready to get a fresh HC, showed up to the place, my barber got COVID, and I'm like, fuck. Because the barber is also close to my parents' house, so I'm like, oh, I trust this man. I will only go to this man. Yeah, he got COVID. So I was like, oh, okay, well, we're just gonna give it a go. And so the hair is extremely long. I need to figure out another time when I can go back to my parents' place so I can potentially get a haircut finally, because it's kind of getting out of control. So I went on vacation for an entire week. Absolutely jam-packed and wild. Also, too, adjusting to a 3-hour time difference is a lot harder than I remember. It was a time. I met a bunch of people. It was fantastic. Met Annie, actually. But yeah, I almost died on a mountain. That was a thing. So the first stop on the trip, we went to Seattle. And we're like, okay, yeah, like, you know, let's go Seattle. And Mount Rainier, hope I said that right, is one of the hiking spots, right? And my friends were just like, oh, like, while we go, let's go to do these crazy hikes, because usually when I go with my girlfriend, she doesn't want to do it. And I'm like, I love hiking, let's do it. So we get to first of all, the warning sign should have been, as soon as we parked the car, because you have to kind of drive up the mountain to get to the nice summit trail. As soon as we parked the car, it was snowing. And by snowing, I mean our knees were in the snow. And we had not prepared for this. I should clarify that. We did not bring really waterproof clothes except for like rain jackets, because when we left Toronto, it was like 20 degrees Celsius. Nice and sunny, super hot, shorts and t-shirt weather, honestly. And so me and my friends were like, let's give it a go. What could the worst be? How bad could it be? And so we went, and there were a bunch of other hiking groups in front of us who had like full suited out kits, like they looked like they were about to explore Everest, massive backpacks, had like these picks in order to climb the ice. And we're like, well, they're not saying anything to us, so we're probably okay, right? And so we started going, and like, we were soaked pretty quickly, not gonna lie. And then I remember we climbed up the side of the mountain. It was probably about like maybe like this incline, but the thing was because there was so much snow, like you could just step in, and even though it went up to like your knee, it was like a step, right? So you could just kind of keep on going all the way up. And so we continuously went up for about 4 hours, upon which then it started freezing raining. And because we were so high up on the mountain, covered in a cloud, couldn't see anything. And I just remember I was standing there like eating lunch, and I looked around and I'm like, we were close to a tour group, and I'm just like, I can't see where the next like marker is in what is the right direction. And to put this in perspective, if anyone has played The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, if you've ever gone on top of one of those mountains the very first time when you finally got the gear, and it's nighttime, you look out, and it's just like an empty, snowy field with like maybe like a bat in the background or something, and you're just like, damn. Like, you just get taken aback by how vast the valley is. That was what it was like, except IRL. And so because we couldn't see where the next marker is, I was like, I'm gonna be real with you guys, I think we should turn around, because if we can't see where we're going, we're not gonna be able to make it back. And it was honestly probably one of the most miserable experiences hiking back. I was soaked head to toe. My hiking boots were basically just puddles around my feet. So every time I took a step, I could feel the sloshing water going around. Rainier. And so we got back down, and we were all just like destroyed. Like, I kid you not, just destroyed. Soaking wet. Absolutely just exhausted. And so we went into the visitor center, and I won't forget, the guy looked at us and laughed. One of the guys working at the visitor center, as soon as we walked in, saw us and started laughing because we were just like soaked and miserable. And he was just like, oh man. And then he encouraged us to explore some of the easier trails at the bottom of the mountain. And we're like, no, we're going home. What a favorite. So it's actually a lot of fun though. Like, I think that was the hardest hike I've ever done, but also one of the coolest hikes that I've ever done. Apparently there's a nice paved trail during the summertime. It's probably amazing. I just got nothing but snow. So that really set the pace for a lot of the trip, but honestly, it was a good time to be away. And then, so that was 1 week that I was off. Then transition into the lovely week right afterwards, upon which my flight was delayed so I didn't get back to my apartment on the Tuesday morning. Ice cliffs. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. We could see the glaciers while we were there. They were covered by snow, and there were a couple of moments where we could just like feel like raw ice, and it was like, holy shit. And so yeah, trip was great, did a lot more hikes, saw a lot more people, it's fantastic, had a great time. Went to like, okay, I got another funny story. At one of we bought one bougie Airbnb that was all the way in Mount Currie, BC. If you look it up, it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's a couple hours away from Vancouver if you just drive north. And it had a fucking hot tub, okay? And this hot tub was dope because you would sit in the hot tub and you would just look out, and in the background there were mountains, right? And so we did a lot of like crazy hikes and stuff, and we would just go back and then just right into the hot tub, and we were like, yes, this is the best. And so yeah, that was I don't know how to explain this without making it sound kind of like the fuck what. So the hot tub was fantastic. We had a great time, took a lot of pictures. It was fantastic. Yeah, no, 100%. If you ever, well, because it is a couple of hours north, and that definitely was the reason why we got it at the price that we did. It was a beautiful house. Had 4 beds, 4 like queen size beds, which was massive because we'd been kind of sleeping on singles and couches up until this. Oh, it was something else, but that was a lot of fun. Also too, at one part of the trip, apparently hot tubs is just a common thing. So we were also in a hot tub with another, on another leg of the trip, and some random dude came in and joined us because it was kind of like not the hotel hot tub, but like there were a bunch of apartments linked up to this one hot tub. And we chatted with our boy, Tristan. That's not his name. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember his name. He was incredibly helpful for giving us activities to do though, when it started raining really hard and we had nowhere to go. So, wild time, went bungee jumping. As you saw the GIF that played, the sub noise. It's fucking scary as hell. Originally, I was supposed to go bungee jumping with my friend. What we were gonna do is we wanted to get a tandem bungee jump, which means you have to hug each other while jumping off the edge. And I did not plan on going bungee jumping that day until I heard that, and I'm just like, okay, if I actually listen guys, I just want the sweet embrace of another human being. And so I was like, okay, I will do it if we can do this tandem bungee jumping. You're not wrong actually, but it is more like because he went skydiving before, and we were looking for an activity to do during the day because the rain had kind of canceled one of the bigger ones. And so he was just like, yeah, I'm going bungee jumping. And then we saw the tandem bungee jumps, and I'm like, honestly, I'm down. And so we were gonna do that, but turns out this is just a good fact for all of you guys out there. If you ever go tandem bungee jumping, collectively you have to weigh under 300 pounds, otherwise it's a little risky. So we got to the place and we found that out, and I'd been hyping myself up for a couple of hours, like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be scary as fuck. I don't know that I can do this. What am I gonna do? And so he was just like, yeah, I'm still doing it, even if we can't hug each other. And I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. You go do you. But then after like hyping myself up so much, I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's go bungee jumping. Let's do this shit. Let's go. And all I can remember, I was super cold, which I just attributed to probably being nervous as hell. And you just like step up to the edge. The guy was behind me, and I asked him before I walked forwards, I'm like, can you push me? Because I'm not going to go. And he's just like, nope, we're not allowed to push you. And I'm like, I got to do this to myself then. That feels great. And so I walk up to the edge, and the platform right at the end is like rounded like this. So like I could feel that there was a little bit momentum, like I could just like lean forward and I'd slip off, which made me even more scared. So I had my arms out and the guy was just like, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump. And as soon as he said that, I did the stupid thing, which is I looked over the edge. And I kid you not, the vertigo just fucking, nope, that was not a thing. I looked over the edge and I could just feel my mortality. Like I could feel the Grim Reaper reaching out from the ground, ready to pull my soul out of my body. And I'm like, maybe not. So I was standing there like, oh. And then I was just like, oh God, oh God. And then he was just like, okay. Shake it out. You're going to be fine. Look forwards. All right. Ready? Shake out all that energy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I just look forwards and then I jumped. And as soon as I jumped, I looked down, almost peed myself. And then I just went off the edge. And that's how that Jeff went. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's not actually that bad. Like, it kind of just felt like riding a roller coaster. The biggest thing for us Canada folk who are around Wonderland, it's kind of like the drop zone. Like, you just feel that free fall, right? But then as soon as you go down, you bounce back up, and then you go down again, and then you just kind of do. Honestly, the worst part is, it's very tightly attached to your crotch. And man, that hurt. On the way back up, you have to hook yourself onto a rope so that they like pull you up like this. And I had to like adjust myself in the thing, but was also too scared to adjust myself. Because I was like, what if something goes wrong? I could actually just fall and die. And so I was just like, as he was pulling me up, and like by the time I got to the top, it was the craziest feeling ever. Like I couldn't stop smiling, and it was very bizarre. But like it was a rush. Do I ever think I would do it again? Probably not. But you know, it's a
crotch got morbed.
Yes, the hand of Morbius himself reached through the cinema screen, flew right across down into the river, and came up just to grab my crotch. It's fucking crazy. They don't tell you that's gonna happen when you watch Morbius in theaters. But let's speak. Thank you for all the resubs, by the way. Man, I'm just first day back into it, and all of y'all are fucking resubbing. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. But yeah, the vacation was a fantastic time. I kind of wish I took a little bit longer, but a lot of things were going on, and I was like, okay, this is going to be fine. And of course, there were a couple of difficulties along the way, but you know, you figure things out as you're kind of just going through it. So yeah, that was the first week. And then I flew back at 3:30 in the morning because my flight got delayed, so I didn't get back to my apartment until 3. And it was just like, hell yeah, let's go to sleep and then wake up for work in 3 hours. And it was painful. Yeah, and then on top of that too, that was the week that all of the broadcasts were scheduled. And so I casted for 4 days in a row, almost lost my voice, and that's also too, I had to take Saturday off. Just because like I was finishing work and then immediately just going into like doing an esports broadcast, and it would finish at like 11. The first night it went until 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And so that's kind of why I canceled that. But we have a tentative new date for the Gummy Bear 12-hour stream. And it is going to be potentially June 12th. Potentially. I'm pretty sure it will be June 12th. That's going to be the earliest time just because I've got a lot of other weekend broadcasts happening, which is making my life a lot more complicated. But I'm planning on June 12th. I'm going to remake the event in the group once I figure out all that Discord stuff. And I really do think that taking just Saturday off in order to relax a little bit and figure out what the fuck was going on in life was pretty important. It is not the weekend you're visiting. Don't worry, Annie. And honestly, Avery, 100% should have done that. I thought better of myself. Well, to be fair, I was supposed to get back at like 12. And then I'm like, by the time I get to my apartment, it'll be 1 o'clock. I'll probably be tired. I can wake up 6-7 hours of sleep. That's fine. Flair Airlines, man. begrudgingly shake my fist. But yeah, I met Annie. That was pretty cool. I got to re-see a bunch of my old friends, which was also really neat. I got to play with a really cute dog. It's honestly one of the better parts of my trip. It was a good time. But yes, tentatively, June 12th, the 12-hour stream.